Hello everybody, my name is Toby Hecht and I invented Aji. Aji is a new business philosophy that enables business people and entire businesses to double their productivity, value, and incomes by learning how to use their computers strategically and competitively instead of with task orientation, determination, and common sense. Usually when I speak about Aji, I explain its descriptions, meanings, relevance, value, and purposes. But today I'm going to speak with you about the business people, almost 4,000 of them, who have taken Aji over the past 30 years to double their productivity, value, and income, and find learning Aji to be the most meaningful, valuable, and enjoyable business education experience they've ever had. As I share the orientation and intentions of business people who have already learned how to use Aji to double their productivity, value, and incomes, you may discover that you share those orientations and intentions. And if you do, you will say that it is the most important thing you could possibly do for your family to double your productivity, value, and incomes as soon as you can. To that end, I propose that if you share the orientation and intentions and you seek to double your productivity, value, and income because you haven't saved enough money for 25 years of old age with your spouse, I propose that you subscribe to Aji.com conditionally, that is without full commitment, for 3 to 4 months to resolve for yourself whether you also find learning how to use Aji the most meaningful, valuable, and enjoyable business experience you've ever had. Aji has 3 markets. In economics, a market is somebody, an individual, or a group of individuals who want something. Our first market are individuals who meet 4 criteria. The first criteria is they are serious, not casual, about their lives, fulfilling their marriage vows, keeping their parenting commitments, earning and saving enough money for their household finances so they can live a good life while they're raising their children, and save enough money to avoid running out of it with their spouse until they're at least 90 years old or for 25 years of old age and retirement. The third criteria is that they and their spouse are already worried about not earning and saving enough money. And the fourth criteria is really 2 parts. It's about their intentions for raising their children. The first intention they have is to raise their children in a household where they can show their children how to live and raise a family successfully in the 4th Industrial Revolution, which includes earning and saving enough money for 25 years of old age. They intend to teach their children how to do that. The second intention they have, which is very firm, is to avoid becoming a parent tax on their children, who their children marry, and their grandchildren. Now, another way to characterize the orientation and intentions of business people who find using Aji to double their incomes so meaningful, valuable, and enjoyable is to look at the 2 existential intentions they go to work to fulfill every day. An existential intention is an intention that, when fulfilled, makes a person's life meaningful, worthwhile, satisfying, and enjoyable from their point of view. Their first existential intention is to earn and save enough money to afford the goods and services they, their spouse, and their children are certain to need, especially for food, housing, medical care, and transportation until they're at least 90 years old. Another way to put that is, what is the point of going to work every day and failing to earn and save enough money to take care of your family? From their point of view and their spouses, this troubles them deeply. So when they learn how to use Aji to double their income, it's about the most important business education they've ever gotten. Their second existential intention is to do what is right as they see it, given their marriage vows to their spouse and their parenting commitments. For example, if they promised when they got married to love, honor, and cherish their spouse till death do us part, from their point of view, that doesn't include allowing them to run out of money during their old age, whether their spouse is working also or not. And then when they make parenting commitments to their children, they are very firm about raising them so they can succeed in life and so they don't become a parent tax on them. This is what they want to do, it's what they feel privileged to do, it's what they enjoy doing, and it's what makes their life meaningful, worthwhile, and satisfying from their point of view. Aji's second market is business people who are already rich, who are seeking to become richer. They have at least $10 million capital at work outside of their house and their business. Now, they are a market for 2 reasons. First is they want to use the strategy to get richer, And second is they want to hire executives and managers who also use Aji because they are interested in doubling their productivity, value, and incomes. And that is similar to our third market, which is business owners, executives, managers, and HR departments who want their employees to learn how to use Aji because they want to double the productivity, value, and incomes of the entire business organization they represent, manage, or work for. One of the most important insights that business people have in the first 100 days they begin to learn how to use Aji to double their productivity, value, and incomes is it's not a business carny offer. It's real. Carnies are people who invite country bumpkins, rubes, and marks into carnivals to entertain them and separate them from their money. Well, the free internet is loaded with business carnies who make business entertainment offers in all sorts of forms: books, MBA programs, courses, thought leaders, business groups where they meet and they talk, they all sorts of stuff. And what's true about all of them is either they make no promise of outcomes to business people, or the promises they make to help them produce outcome equal failure. They don't enable business people to earn and save enough money to live a good life with their family and save enough money to afford 25 years of unemployment with their spouse without running out of money. The same orientation and intentions that has business owners, executives, managers, and individuals find using Aji to double their incomes to be deeply meaningful and very enjoyable is also a source of confusion and befuddlement about the carnies and casuals with whom they find themselves working. Carnies and casuals are different groups of people, and I'll explain them in a moment. But together, they argue against serious business people when they speak and act. They speak and act in the marketplace as if the fourth industrial revolution, which began in the 1980s when computers and the internet were first released, didn't happen. They speak and act as if they're fine earning and saving too little money to avoid running out of it with their spouse during 25 years of old age. And to serious business people's intuition, this can't possibly add up. And the serious business people are right. I've been talking to carnies and casuals for more than 30 years. They know perfectly well they're not earning and saving enough money. They know perfectly well they're pretending. And they know perfectly well that when they run out of money with their spouse during 25 years of old age, nobody's going to come to save them. But they don't want to do anything about it right now. They're blowing it off, so they're pretending they're fine. They are frauds. Serious business people are right. They enjoy using Aji for a good reason. Serious business people who enjoy using Aji to double their incomes are often confused by carnies because of the context of concerns and commitments their orientation produces. They know intuitively that carnies are terrific. We all like carny offers. They make the world a better place. They also know intuitively that if you accept the carnies' offers out of context, they are very dangerous and will ruin their life. And they find themselves surrounded by carnies and casuals who accept one another's offers without context. And they know that what's going on is very, very dangerous, and this puzzles them. So here's what's going on. It's actually very simple. Serious business people and casual business people live in different worlds. It's not objective, it can't be perceived. That is, you can't see it, but it is very, very easy to hear. So serious business people live in a context of concerns that has them restrict or organize what they do when they accept offers from carnies so it works inside their life so they can earn and save enough money to live a good life. And they live often on the same block as casual business people who don't share the same concerns. So they're buying offers from carnies without the same concerns, and for a while they can live on the same block. But that doesn't last. So here's how it looks to the serious business people. They live on a block and they're worried about their future. They're worried about earning and saving enough money. They're worried about it, so they're studying Aji. They're learning how to use it to double their income, and they are thrilled about how meaningful it is. At the same time, next door on the same block, and the next block can be in the next state over or on the other side of the country, but it equals the same block. So next door to them are casual business people who don't appear to be worried. They're happy. They're living in this big house. They're driving nice cars. They're wearing clothes. They're going on vacation, and everything is hunky-dory. but they're actually on a different path into the future, and it crosses. What happens is the happy people who are casual, who are spending all their money with carnies and buying business entertainment offers I'm going to speak to you about in a moment to please themselves, well, eventually they go into depression. They go into despair. They become resigned. And if you look up on the internet, the number one regret of retired people or baby boomers, it is failing to save enough money when they had an opportunity for their 25 years of old age. Meanwhile, the serious business people who are worried for 10 or 15 years and earning and saving their money and designing new offers with Aji and doubling their income, well, gradually they get happier and happier and happier as their savings and investments improve. They get further and further away from the danger. And then a little while later, call it 10 years, maybe 15 years, things begin to separate. The casual business people begin to fade. They go into despair and they have to leave their homes. They have to go. They become parent taxes on their children. Meanwhile, the serious business people are getting happier and happier as their earnings, savings, and investments keep getting higher and higher, and they keep getting closer and closer to being able to retire. They and their spouse are getting happier and happier until eventually they don't need to live in that home either, and they upgrade. They move to a much nicer place, and they hang around business people who are equally serious and have a much better life their whole life than the casual business people do. But none of that can be seen at the beginning. You can only hear what people are concerned about and what actions they're taking and how they're dealing with the carnies. And as serious business people learn how to listen to the casual business people and understand it is not going to work out for them and their spouse, they settle down and they get much, much happier. My final report to you about the orientation and intentions of business people who find using Aji to be deeply meaningful and very enjoyable is they intuitively know to distrust the business education offered by carnies in MBA programs, business clubs, business groups, all sorts of meetings, television shows. They know to distrust it, but they don't know what's wrong with it. So I explained to them that we are in IR4, the fourth industrial revolution. And every new industrial revolution produces a fight between the knowledge that was old that needs to be discarded. That's why it's called a revolution. It turns over the old knowledge and ways of doing things from the past and invents new ones. I invented Aji for the fourth industrial revolution. It works only with computers and the internet. It couldn't have even been imagined, no less invented, before computers existed. The carnies are making business offers that I call business entertainment. It's recycled business knowledge from the third industrial revolution that was invented before 1980 and long before computers and the internet were introduced into the marketplace. What's going on is that whereas Aji promises to help business people earn and save enough to live a good life their entire life, the business entertainment offers don't make such a promise. They promise to teach you whatever they have to teach you, and there is no commitment that it is valuable, productive, or competitive enough to enable business people to fulfill their intentions to earn and save enough money to live a good life with their spouse while they're raising their children and avoid running out of it during 25 years of old age. This is deeply offensive to business people who are serious about taking care of their family, and they exclaim it loudly if they've done MBA programs. They go, "Why isn't this taught in MBA programs?" They're not interested in this yet. And then there's people who belong to the national business organizations, which are very special. They have regular meetings, they have special groups, all sorts of meetings and announcements, but they know it's terribly wrong because it's a carny offer. It's insincere, it's dishonest. They say it's business education, but it's really entertainment. There is no purpose or capability to enable business people to increase their skills so they can fulfill their most important, dignified, and practical purpose, which is to earn a living or become rich to take care of their spouse and children, including 25 years of old age. The differences in orientation and intentions between serious and casual business people sums up everything I've said so far. I'm troubled by this, and you'll hear this as I speak, because I can't find anything different in value between a casual approach to life and a serious approach to life. The problem, or what people are experiencing, is that the fourth industrial revolution has shifted the context of concerns, competitive situations, capabilities that are required, and ways of getting things done or strategies business people need to use so that the people who are casual can't compete successfully in the fourth industrial revolution. It's not their fault. I don't think there's anything wrong with casual business people, but the marketplace has shifted in a way so that casual business people are a group of the casualties of the fourth industrial revolution. Now, whenever I say that, casual people are casualties, it sounds like I'm being cute, and that troubles me too, but I'm not being cute. Casual business people and their families are the casualties of the fourth industrial revolution. And serious business people are the ones who are cleaning up. And I want to stress before I continue that as far as I can tell, there is no difference in value. That is, casual business people are getting clobbered, but I don't think there's anything wrong with them. It's just that the framework of concerns in which they are living has shifted so they can succeed with a casual point of view. And I'll explain that now. When I characterize business people as being serious, it means that from their point of view, their life, their marriage vows, their parenting commitments, their finances, their careers, and their businesses are worth their time, energy, money, lost opportunities, and actions to take care of. They talk about their concerns all the time. They talk about it with their spouses. They're worried. They're working. Their orientation produces intentions and willingness to learn skills to fulfill those intentions because they are serious about their life and they're worried about living a good life that includes 25 years of old age. Now, casual business people are not wrong. They're nonchalant, they're disinterested, they're cool, they live in the moment. They don't consider all those concerns worth their time and energy to take care of. Instead, they drift aimlessly and they adapt as they go. Now, the problem is there's nothing wrong with that. To understand the problem, we need to understand knowledge. Knowledge is not what we learn in school. It is a capability to produce an outcome in the world in a given set of circumstances. When the circumstances change, knowledge becomes obsolete. It doesn't work. So serious business people look at Aji and they go, whoa, this was designed for the fourth industrial revolution, and it is serious and it will enable me to fulfill my intentions. Casual business people are not serious about their future. They're drifting aimlessly as human beings have been done throughout time. The Industrial Revolutions began only 250 years ago, and before that, the only thing people could do was drift aimlessly as they adapted day to day to life. So we evolved to be that way. And 250 years ago, as we began to invent new tools, whole new categories of tools, the first three industrial revolutions were single-purpose tools, and the fourth one we're in now with computers is multi-purpose tools. So up until 1980, when people had pensions, carefree business people or casual business people could aimlessly adjust through life and adapt as they went, and they were 60, they got a pension and everything worked. But in IR4, beginning in 1980, when pensions were squished out of the marketplace, the circumstance of the marketplace now support the people who are serious. It's a set of circumstances, concerns people have to deal with, competitive situations they have to cope with, capabilities they have to learn, and increasingly new strategies or ways of getting things done they have to adapt to. Casual business people don't do that well. So the way it looks is serious business people are terribly worried when they're young and they're middle-aged. They do Aji and they're very, very serious, and they get very happy as their income doubles and they get more savings. But they're next to casual business people who are not concerned about that. They're not oriented that way. They're perfectly happy. They're going on vacations. They're living in their homes, but they're not saving any money. So what happens is the serious business people, as they approach 60, they have all sorts of money saved for their old age. And the casual business people, when they approach 60 and they've been just drifting aimlessly, they have this horrible moment where they go, whoa, I ran out of money. I'm not going to be able to afford my old age. I don't know it's their fault. I've never been able to change a casual business person into a serious business person. I've seen them do that on their own, but it's not like talking them into it. So there's this terrible, terrible thing unfolding in the marketplace. The serious business people are learning Aji and they're taking off. The casual business people are ignoring that, or they're going to carny business offers for business entertainment that doesn't work, and they're going down. I'll conclude the conversation about the differences between serious and casual business people by comparing and contrasting some of the conversations we hear at the Aji Network that enables us to anticipate who will subscribe to Aji.com and really enjoy it, and who won't. So when we talk to people who are serious about their life and we talk to them about it being deeply meaningful, they're right with us. When somebody wants their life to be deeply meaningful, that means they want to be a situation in life in which other people, like their children and spouses, can act because of their existence in a way they find meaningful. Or they look at it as their actions are meaningful, and their actions are meaningful because they produce situations, such as having enough money to afford goods and services they're going to need to survive. They look at that and they say, that makes my life meaningful. Casual business people don't have those thoughts. When we ask a serious business person about their life being totally worthwhile, which means they're giving thought to what do they put out for their children, for society, for their spouse, and what they get back. They think about that and they work to make sure that what they put out and what they get back is totally worthwhile from their point of view. When we talk about having their life being completely satisfying or having no regrets, they are completely signed up and they know very much, or they check on their own, that if they look online, they find that the number one regret of the baby boomers and people who are retiring is failing to save enough for 25 years of old age with their spouse. And serious business people anticipate that. They don't want that kind of despair and resignation in their future. And when we talk to serious business people about having their life be enjoyable, they are right there too. See, it's enjoyable to a human being who has a meaningful set of intentions to fulfill them successfully. It's not the same as fun or escapism or being distracted from life. On the contrary, serious business people are deep in their life, they're deeply involved in it, and when they learn Aji so they're successful, they enjoy that very much. And when we speak to serious business people about their marriages and their marriage vows, they know them. Or if they don't, because they haven't visited them in a while, it bothers them. So when serious business people promise their spouse to love, honor, and cherish them, etc., or whatever your vows were, till death do they part, serious business people consider, does that include not doing everything I possibly can to earn and save enough money to not allow this person I married, who I love to death, to run out of money during their old age so they can't afford food and housing and transportation and medical care? Serious business people say, no, what I committed to my spouse was not to allow that to happen. But when I speak to casual business people, they usually don't remember their marriage vows, and they're usually not reflecting very much about what they obligated themselves to when they got married. They may love their spouse and their children, but they're thoughtless about their commitments and their work and the outcomes they're going to produce by drifting aimlessly when they're in situations that we find ourselves in the fourth industrial revolution. When we speak to serious business people about their parenting commitments, they have them. They do intend to raise their children so they can live well in the fourth industrial revolution. They raise them and they speak about their marriage vows so their children know that. They speak about saving and earning money and saving enough for old age. And they talk about how important it is for them, the parents, the serious business people, to earn and save enough money to avoid being a parent tax on their children, who their children marry, and their grandchildren. When we speak to casual business people, nope, that is not their concern. They love their children, we don't have any doubt about that, but they have no commitment to parenting their children that Aji would help them fulfill. So subscribing to Aji doesn't make any sense for them, they don't get any value out of it. When we speak to serious and casual business people about their household finances, the differences are stark. I mean, they're black and white. The first difference is their moods. Serious business people and their spouses are very worried about their finances. If they don't know exactly how many millions they need for their old age, they're close, and they're thrilled, I mean really thrilled when they do the Aji ambition, they get their numbers straight and the spouses can begin to talk together and save and plan and build their incomes and savings for old age. When we talk to casual business people, they're not worried about it. They do know now that they're not earning and saving enough money. Their spouse knows it too, but no, they're not doing anything about it. They're living a good life now. That's what they want to do, and nothing we can say can change that. And when we speak to serious and casual business people about their careers, identities, and businesses, we see another stark contrast. Serious business people are ready to join the world. They're ready to use Aji, design fresh new offers, practices, narratives, and strategies that they've never designed before, and use them strategically and competitively to double their productivity, value, and incomes. They are after it. They're worried. This is a way to relieve the stress, the financial stress they've got, and they couldn't be more excited, enthusiastic, and passionate about what they're doing. Then there are the casuals. And when we speak to casual business people about their careers, identities, and businesses, they are content drifting where they are. Sure, they're working hard. Sometimes they're conscientious about their work. But at the end of the day, they're content where they are. They'd like to get a raise, and they're not willing to do any more work with Aji to double their productivity, value, or incomes. They don't find that work deeply meaningful, they don't find it worthwhile, they don't find it satisfying, and they don't find it enjoyable. And the contrast between them and business people who can't wait to get started once they realize how good Aji is, because nobody understands at the beginning, because it is a new business philosophy, that once serious business people really get what Aji will do and what enables them to do, they couldn't be more thrilled with doing that work. It's as meaningful, worthwhile, satisfying, and enjoyable as any business work they've ever done. The final distinction that is so loud at the Aji network that distinguishes serious business people from casual business people is their concern about their dignity. Serious business people are concerned about their dignity, and casual business people are not concerned about their dignity in the future. They're concerned about it now, so if they're challenged, they will assure us that they are concerned as if they have dignity, but their actions are undignified. When people have dignity, socially, in the world, it means that other people say about them that they have integrity in the world and value in the world. Integrity means to be whole and complete, like the structural integrity of a bridge, so it won't fall down under the stresses it was designed to hold. Well, financial integrity is similar. When human beings, business people, earn and save money for their household, they have to earn and save enough to afford the goods and services they're always going to need to survive and adapt to life's always changing circumstances so they can live a good life. When they fail to do that, they lose their integrity, and other people don't want them around. Look at it this way. When people in the marketplace, business owners, executives, managers, individuals, employees, employers, colleagues, whatever, they are working in the business and they are working like crazy to earn and save enough money to take care of their family, about the last thing they want to see is somebody around who has no money to spend. So when business people run out of money in their old age, nobody wants them around. It's for practical reasons. It's not just a judgment like being, I don't know, silly about it. It's that people are working as hard as they can, and they don't want people to come around who can't help them buying their goods and services. Even worse than that, when business people are casual and they lose their dignity, they lose it with their children, and they also lose it with their spouse. Their children and their spouse may continue to love them, and often do, but still they look up at them and go, no. As an adult, you didn't deal with this situation with integrity and value. You lost it. You weren't serious. You didn't get the job done. And instead of being respected and admired, they are disrespected and resented for the cost they are and the problems they cause and for the help they didn't provide when they had the opportunity. When I was leading the Aji course before the pandemic, students, serious business people, when I was discussing dignity, would often ask me for a very simple, straightforward orientation and set of intentions they could have to produce their dignity. They're concerned about their dignity, but they didn't have any schooling in it. So I proposed to them a two-part orientation to keep their dignity intact and keep developing it. The first one is to always do what is best from their point of view, that is the best practical care to take care of their spouse and their children. That is to earn and save enough money to afford the goods and services to take practical care of their family until they're at least 90 years old. The second orientation is to always do what is right, given their marriage vows and their parenting commitments. So if, for example, their marriage vows were to love, honor, and cherish their spouse, dignity is to do what is right when you love, honor, and cherish somebody. That is, do you allow them to run out of money, the goods and services they need for food, housing, transportation, and medical care? And if the answer is no, then the right thing to do is to earn and save enough money to do that. And if you made parenting commitments to raise your children in a way that they can live in the world in the fourth industrial revolution, then you live in a way you talk with them about that, and you work in a way that you avoid to become a parent tax on them so they don't have to support you in their old age and they're free to live a good life with their spouse and their children. That's a way to orient, to act in the world, to produce dignity your entire life. And finally, I'm going to share with you 3 distinctions from Aji that are orientations you can use. So if the orientation and intentions for business people that I've already spoken about match for you, and these distinctions work for you, then I'll propose you subscribe to Aji.com conditionally for 3 to 4 months, or till you've completed the 14th assignment of the Aji Starters course, which will resolve for you whether you will find using Aji to be deeply meaningful for you, very useful, and enjoyable. The first distinction is power. I designed the Aji Source fundamental strategy to enable business people who execute it to advance action or make progress every day, all day, to increase their power. Power is business. Business is a game of power. Whoever and whatever business has the most power wins. People who have the most power are able to fulfill their financial, career, and business intentions, and serious business people are able to earn and save enough money to live a good life with their spouse, including 25 years of old age. Power in non-competitive situations is completely different than power in competitive situations. In non-competitive situations, the way I would know that you could grow a rose bush, play a song of guitar, catch a fish, is to ask you to do it or watch you and see if you could do it. And if you could produce the outcome and fulfill your intentions in a given set of circumstances, I would know that in those circumstances you have the power to fulfill those intentions or produce those outcomes. Now, in competitive situations, concerns for power are relative. That is, you must have greater relative power than your competitors to produce outcomes that judges, such as customers or employers or employees, will value more highly than the outcomes produced by your competitors. Another orientation of Aji is that power comes from sources. It isn't magical. It doesn't float around. Human beings, for instance, are a source of power to businesses. If we hire somebody who can do something for us, then when they come in and they produce that outcome, it increases our relative power in the marketplace. Knowledge is a source of power. Knowledge like Aji. When people have knowledge, they can produce outcomes that are superior to their competitors. When people study Aji, they learn how to design steady streams of fresh, new offers, practices, narratives, and strategies that are relatively more valuable or important than those produced by their competitors. Tools are another source of power, and I'm going to speak about them in a moment. Money is a source of power. If you have $100, you can't buy nearly as much as if you have $1,000. So the more money people have, the more power they have to fulfill their intentions to buy goods and services they need to take care of themselves and their family. Identities are a source of power too. Superior identities of trustworthiness, value, authority, leadership, and dignity have people accept your offers more quickly and increase their willingness to pay you a premium for them. Tools, such as hammers, computers, and the internet, are sources of power for human beings. We use them to amplify or increase our capabilities to fulfill our intentions to produce outcomes in given sets of circumstances. The first thing to know about tools is they don't do anything. And it makes no sense to fall in love with your computer as computer manufacturers and marketers want you to do. The thing to know about tools is that the only thing that makes them work to fulfill your intentions is your knowledge, and they all work in given sets of circumstances. So the knowledge that was invented before 1980 for business people, which was focused on the use of single-purpose tools like hammers and nails or escalators or forklifts, is not the same knowledge needed to use a multi-purpose tool such as a computer and the internet. So as long as people continue to use knowledge that was invented in IR3 in today's circumstances, which are the most rapidly changing, intensely competitive, complex, and technologically advanced competitive situations in history, people who use their computers with task-oriented knowledge can't compete with people who use knowledge something like Aji that is strategic and competitive. So the purpose of using Aji when it comes to tool use is to upgrade your knowledge away from IR3 knowledge. Quit using it and begin to use Aji's strategic and competitive knowledge instead, and that will enable you to steadily make progress or advance action to increase your capabilities to produce outcomes and double your productivity, value, and income so you can live a good life with your family that includes 25 years of old age. Spaces of possibility are another source of power that Aji exploits. Spaces of possibility shape and limit human thought and action. So if you run out of spaces of possibilities, you can't fulfill your intentions. In this little talk, I'm focusing on time and knowledge because time is needed to learn Aji, and time is needed to use Aji to double your productivity, value, and incomes. And you also need time to enjoy compounding interest that the stock market will produce. Another space of possibilities is your knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, you can't think and act effectively. So Aji produces a new kind of knowledge, which is a completely new space of possibilities business people deeply enjoy that enables them to double their productivity, value, and income. And that helps to explain why I'm encouraging you that if this works for you, the thing to do is subscribe to Aji conditionally for 3 to 4 months or until you complete the 14th assignment of the Aji Starters course. Because as you begin to enjoy Aji as a new space of possibilities, you will begin to experience really how it enables you to double your productivity, value, and incomes in this marketplace. We've reached the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me. To wrap this up, I'm going to repeat the 3 promises I always make about Aji and then walk you through a short 6-step proposal about how to subscribe to Aji.com so you can resolve for yourself whether you find using Aji to be deeply meaningful and enjoyable and whether you think you can use it to double your productivity, value, and income so you can live a good life with your family that includes 25 years of old age or until you're about 90 years old. Now, the first promise about Aji that I always make, that I just said, is that when you use Aji, it enables business people and entire businesses to double their productivity, value, and income by learning how to use their computer strategically and competitively instead of with task orientation, common sense, and determination. The second promise I make is that Aji is not difficult to learn. It's just a very, very different way of thinking and acting to make money using your computer and the internet. And the third promise I make is that after 100 days or completing the 14th assignment of the Aji Starters course, you will be able to see for yourself the truth of the first 2 promises I just made to you. The first part of the proposal I make to you is that you subscribe to Aji.com immediately so you don't squander any of your space of possibilities or your time. You need as much time as you possibly can to earn and save enough money to take care of your family. The second thing I propose is that you begin the Aji Starters course. It's right there on Aji.com, and that you do at least 2 assignments every month. The third thing I propose is that you challenge yourself to double or tenfold the amount of tuitions you pay for your subscription. So if you pay $200 a month for your subscription, I propose that you challenge yourself every month to use Aji.com in a way that you can produce $400 to $2,000 from that 1-month study of Aji.com. If you do that, you will begin to double your productivity, value, and income. The fourth thing I propose is that you sign up for the Aji online meeting so you can meet the staff and you can begin to meet other people who are using Aji and build your networks of capabilities. It's very exciting. The fifth thing I propose is that every month you reassess Aji's value. So even though you conditionally commit to finish the first 14 assignments of the Aji Starters course, you reserve the right every month, if Aji is not of value to you, to quit that month. You don't need to complete the 14th assignment if the first month is no good for you. And the sixth part of the proposal I make is that after you complete the Aji Starters course completely, or maybe after the first 14 assignments, the Aji Starters course is 21 assignments, but maybe after you complete the first 14 assignments, you reassess Aji completely and you resolve for yourself whether or not you will continue to use Aji strategically and competitively to double your productivity, value, and income over and over and over again. Thank you very much for watching.